a few months ago where he talked about he wants to have the type of season that at the end, he's buying gifts for all the guys who helped him along the way. And I know that the team wants to hold him to that and really get into his wallet. But that's what good leadership gives you. You know, at the end of the season, because you've done a great job, QB, he's usually the guy who springs for the good stuff.
They'll start out here with a jet sweep. And the ball is knocked out, and it's picked up by the Steelers. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And now off to the races down the right side. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Huge, huge play by the defense, not only to force the fumble, obviously, but to return it for a touchdown.
And I know it's no fun for anyone who plays offense, but isn't it fun to see how a defense rallies when there's a fumble return and everyone tries to find someone to block and bring it all the way home?
I always like their celebrations because they don't get there that often.
No, they're not choreographed very well usually.
The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. And out now, here come the Bengals. And let's just say they're going to be looking to start over on this drive. A few moments ago, they were in the exact situation, but their first play led to a fumble that was returned for 6.
Yeah, you definitely have to have a short memory to play in the NFL. You got to remember what you did wrong so you don't repeat it, but you can't dwell on it because then you will repeat it, and that's what you don't want to do.
And he'll be taken down, but not before... They work it across midfield. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary, figures out defenses and finds...
There he goes left side. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. A great effort there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Bengals are going to jump back in front. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Now for the point after. It's up and good, and the lead now moves to 9-7. So 2 plays on that scoring drive. That's how they drew it up. And the long run into the end zone, and what a run it was. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That's fielded in the end zone. And he is out of bounds here on the return.
You better be afraid of me. You better be afraid of me.
Now White with a first down throw. And it's complete. He gets this one to Washington. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14. So they had the big loss on that first down pass play and facing a 2nd and long. Now White. That's to his running back, Kerryon Johnson. And he will lose yardage on the play, back at his own 19-yard line. Calling a loss of 2 on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. The last catch took him 2 yards in the wrong direction, so now what can they do on 3rd? To throw, White in trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sacks.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Bengals will take over here, 1st and 10. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go up and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you score points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a 1st down.
Well, as we've learned over the years, just because a guy plays left tackle doesn't mean he doesn't have run-blocking abilities, and we just saw it there. Controlled the line of scrimmage, created a big gain.
That's kind of a bonus. He's there to protect that high value that you have back under center, but he creates space in the run game.
Yeah, not only can he dance, he can mash, too.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. Tyler Boyd, the former Pitt Panther, was the target, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Line of scrimmage, the 31, as they line up 2nd and 10. And to give this time to the tailback. He winds up getting only a couple there, down to the 29. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
They got to get it to the 21 here on 3rd down. Back to throw. Holloway. Well, the 2 men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted the flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. So a good kick there, and they put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the 3.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow. Not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And on the first drive, 3 and out. I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Here's Johnson. Takes it to the 26, just a 1-yard gain.
That's it, baby.
And a peek now at the offense for Pittsburgh.
And this certainly doesn't seem like an ideal situation for them because they're coming in on a losing streak, and they've got the quick turnaround right here to Thursday night. But maybe that's for the best. Get right back on the horse and go at it again and not dwell on the losing that they've had in recent weeks.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this. Now this Bengals offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
To throw on 2nd down. Holloway. And a little floater there, but it'll wind up incomplete, falling to the ground. He released that awkwardly. It almost looked like a pitcher who gripped his fastball a little too hard and let it go late, and it bounced in front of the plate.
Yeah, one of those fastballs that ends up at 57 feet, not 60 feet, 6 inches. Just a little short with the arm, which is unusual because we saw him in warm-ups. He's got a big, strong arm when he delivers it with confidence.
And he comes back with one complete. And he takes it down deep into Pittsburgh territory. A big play there for the Bengals. 48 yards.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. Well, they're making a real first-quarter statement with a run game, no doubt.
For those who remember old-school football, running it, establishing things, seeing backs find holes, get through them, they've got to like what they're seeing from this unit so far. Right now, they've decided to, as you've said, establish the run game, and they've been successful doing it.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Looking to throw. Holloway to the end zone, but it's incomplete. Down this close to the goal line, 1st down. Surprised that wasn't a run?
I am, and I'm old school. I want to run the ball on 1st down in this situation because 2nd down, that gives me an option of running play action and maybe throwing it.
Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal. They'll try to run this one in, and he takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Bengals. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Bengals, they widen their lead. And a pair of rushing touchdowns now for him in the 1st quarter.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing from his big guys up front because they're winning the leverage game. How many times we talk about low man wins, right? Move the defensive front aside, create those gaps and holes. He's found his way through them for 2 touchdowns.
And after both of those touchdowns, he went right up to that O-line and hit each of them on the helmet. He recognized
That's a smart man. You know what else he should do? If this continues, take them all to dinner.
And now out come the Steelers. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
And he's going to be stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. Nothing there for him. 2nd down. Well, look now at our starting defense. They are number 2 in the NFL against the run right now, Charles.
They've established themselves pretty well throughout this season, but boy, what a competitive group of people. They do not like that ranking they have now because they think that they're better, and they're out to prove it again in this game.
And maybe the wrong read there as he's going to go down immediately. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
A nickel look now for the Bengals as they try to stop him here on 3rd down.
Encroachment, defense.
He's coming, double up.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
So after the penalty, they're back to where they started, 3rd and 10. Now White, they'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. And he's going to be brought down short of the 1st at about the 31-yard line. It'll be a gain of 6, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go and make the tackle right away.
And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. A great return there of 22 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for? So who are the freshest guys coming off the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Newton. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. That one good for 15, and the Bengals get a first down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Now after that last play, there's a Bengal down on the field. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break.
Down. 8, read. Quit talking about it and bring it. 36-3. 218, chop it.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll get this pretty close to a first down as he's tackled at the Steelers' 35.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
Now the Bengals on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Back to throw. Holloway. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Perhaps they overthought this one a little bit. They've been running it real well on this drive, and it was 3rd and short, okay? They decided to throw the football. Incomplete. Yeah, they might have thought just a little bit too hard about that play selection.
These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Juju Smith-Schuster and the rest of this offense heading back out there. With them losing here in the second quarter and his limited productivity so far, you'd have to think they're going to try to look to him a little bit more, right?
I would guess you would start to see maybe some quick screens, some hitches, anything to get the ball in his hands quickly and let him try and do some damage after the catch. Or maybe just flip some formations and keep him isolated where it's more of a one-on-one route and get the ball to him.
I say just 4 verts, right?
Hey, why not 4 verts? One of the best routes in football. Hard to cover each guy all the way along the route.
So far, just 1 catch for him. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, if you bring in your tight end, keep him in, your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance. Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
I used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. It's a loss of 2. Now 3rd down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
Here's White. Screenplay. Johnson. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a first down.
Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. I'm sure he wanted to have a huge game, wants to have a huge game as the quarterback, but really on the ground, they've been very, very hard to stop. Maybe you just keep going to that well.
I think so, and isn't it funny how the definition of balance changes for us from game to game? Sometimes it's 50-50, run it, throw it. Sometimes it's just being a balanced running team in terms of who's carrying the football.
Not more than one guy.
Right, multiple guys out there, and now your guy back there has to throw it. They don't have to worry about it quite as much.
And they've got the lead here in the second quarter. And I don't want to harp on it, but this defense among the bottom in the league against the run, and they show it right there.
And it doesn't matter when you get prepared for this defense, whether you're good running the ball or not, that's your plan. Run the ball against them. That's their weakness. And by the way, I think you harped on it.
I did. My bad. Now a handoff here to his running back. He will push his way down to about the 14. They had the huge play last time. Here it is a much smaller gain of 2.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover.
Looking for Boyd, and he's got him. Touchdown, Bengals. Tyler Boyd. His first touchdown on the year. Now the Bengals, they widen their lead.
How about that touchdown, partner? If you blinked, you probably missed it. I looked away for just a second, and they were in the end zone.
Extra point attempt to follow here. And the lead opens up now to 22 points. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it ends with a Bengals score. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Back onto the field comes the offense. Let's take a closer look at Kerryon Johnson. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try and loosen things up. Get the defense to react to other people, other plays, but don't forget about it. That's your horse. You know, Secretariat lost twice in his career.
So educational. That's very true, kids. Look it up. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Johnson. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
They stay on the ground on first with Johnson. And an alley to run. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler first down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Had a bit of a lane there, took advantage of it. Give him 7 there on the first down carry. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Washington's got it.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a first down. White looks to throw. Got an open man. It's Washington. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. Call that a very strong gain of 24. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it in, throw it, go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
That is caught. It's Juju for the Steeler touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster with touchdown number 7 on the year.
This play is under review.
It took them an extra look, but they found out it is a touchdown indeed. The official says this one counts. Point after, right down the middle. And that will cut the lead down to 15. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. And they have had success on the ground, really as a team, doing well carrying the football. So maybe a little less pressure on his shoulders as the quarterback.
Any pressure he's carrying right now, that's self-inflicted, right? He's taking it on. He doesn't need to. Continue to do what you just said. Let everyone else carry the football. That's been effective. Don't have to worry about him throwing the ball in all the situations now. That's got to be a good feeling if he just relaxes and lets it keep coming to him.
Yeah, and relax and enjoy the second quarter lead right now.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
He completes it to Boyd. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half.
Right here. Single receiver. Hey, you're on an
On first and 10, Holloway, incomplete.
I'm going back to you.
Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Desmond King picks it.
Boy, that's the kind of interception that can save a game right there. They're already down 2 scores. Huge play, slowing down what was going against them.
I was thinking the same thing. You get down 3 scores there at this stage, could be in for a long ball game. On first and 10, White. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half.
18 Gator. Come on, come on. Get it.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
He's not going to get me. Go.
Out of the gun, it's White. Open man, completes it to Smith-Schuster. And offensively, they'll take the timeout with 6 seconds left in the second quarter. So on second down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. From the right hash and call it an even 50 yards. And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot. And this score will stay right where it is.
NFL kickers nowadays, they make things look so easy because normally from this range, About 2 out of 3, and this is not an easy kick.
Yeah, 20 years ago, you get where he was in that 50 range, maybe a little over, and it's a big kick, but now if they leave it short, you're like, whoa, what happened? And that's what we have here.
Yeah, you're right. 20 years ago, we were saying run some more plays and get closer. Now we think they're definitely within range, and you're exactly right. When it comes up short, there has to be something that went wrong because they have plenty of leg.
The second half upon us sooner than we bargained for. Week 7, second half. Let's do it. The Bengals set to receive. They have the lead and the football to begin quarter number 3. This one fielded at the 5. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Bengal offense now with the football first here to begin quarter number 3. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Gonna give this time to the tailback. 7 yards there and a first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point. Going to make that defense stand up and stop them. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he puts his head down and gets up to the 42 for a gain of about 6.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Running right, Jones. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
Well, that's all about doing the dirty work right there defensively. 2nd and short yardage, that's all about plugging those gaps, not giving the running back a crease to run through, and that's a nice job to hold him just a couple and force a 3rd down.
On 3rd down, Stevenson. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 10 yards there on a Bengal first.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves and start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. A good run, got 7 on 1st. Here's 2nd and 3. 2nd and 3. He gets this one to Boyd. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 14. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Gonna give this time to the tailback. A great move in there, but it only takes him to the 7. He's dropped there. It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the first down marker, and now it's 3rd down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive. Because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Now they try the right side here. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. It's a pickup of 3, but it brings up what will be an interesting 4th and 1.
When a good play is made on defense, Oftentimes, leverage is the key to everything. Defensive line not getting turned, all the other guys making sure they're in the right spot, and on that play, they were able to stop them short of a first down.
So 3 field goals that he's hit now. This last one helps him stretch out the lead.
He's been solid, hasn't he? And he lives up to the adage that every offensive coach has ever said to us. We want to end every possession with a kick, right? For them, it's either extra point, field goal, or at worst, a punt. In this case, it's been 3s. In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
I got you. Now.
To throw from his end zone. White going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And he will finally be taken down up at the 48. Certainly worth noting he's now 1 catch away from 600. He's at 599 in his career. The big play has him all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. Open man right side is Smith-Schuster, complete. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. Different story this time around. We had that huge gain followed by a sizable loss here. That reception, his 600th NFL catch. Congratulations. Quite the accomplishment. Now on 2nd and 13. White. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, you're crediting your defense.
Got to credit them on that one because they tried to fool them, right? Tried to trick them. Ran a screen, and they went to it and smothered it for a loss of yards.
And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure.
Looks like another empty possession here, partner, and I don't think with 3 scores down in the 3rd quarter, they can truly afford any more the rest of the way.
No, especially the way their offense is sputtering. I think you're exactly right. They got to find some answers quickly. Fielded at the 20. It's a 45-yard punt, but a decent return there of 9 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Bengal offense now gets set to head back out onto the field. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Well, from my vantage point, that's just one bad play by the offensive line and a running back who's had a lot of good ones tonight.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's not going to be ticked off, nor is the offensive line, because to me it's a lot like a no-hitter, right? Pitcher's throwing a no-hitter, gives up a...
And that's caught inside the 30. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. DJ Chark, his 4th touchdown on the year. Now the Bengals, they widen their lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Point after here coming up. And they open the lead up now to 25 points. The long touchdown pass gets them 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
Let's go, baby.
Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. How do you break down his game so far? Just the one touchdown pass, but sometimes the touchdown pass stat category, that doesn't tell the whole story.
It really doesn't, not until you balance it with the error side. You know, and in this case, he hasn't thrown any interceptions. So a lot of people would call this almost a pedestrian game, kind of a bus driver game. But that's just really wrong. Being a bus driver is a good thing if you're running a football team, because that means you're in control and you're taking your team to the right places.
Yeah, he's been pretty solid. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. And the catch made by Johnson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Now, this will probably be the last play of the quarter.
You must be getting tired of seeing me.
Back now in Pittsburgh. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4.
Man, I got you.
On 2nd and 15 now. White. Johnson was the intended receiver, but now it's 3rd down. Defensively, you look at the numbers. Another incomplete pass we just saw, and they're under 200 yards passing for the game, so they've done their job on that side of the ball.
Yeah, recently I was actually working a game where a quarterback had a streak of 5 straight games.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. White. And this is going to be incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Bengals are going to get it back in terrific field position. That's another mistake there on the drop pass on 4th, and we've seen him do things like this all game.
It's not hard to figure out why they're down by that deficit. They haven't made plays that are going to keep them in the game or win the game all game long. That's another example right there. It all boils down at the end of it to execution. Either you make the play or you don't.
And he's going to take this one down to the 25. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. They run the counter. It's Stevenson. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. That one good for 17 yards. And now they've got it 1st and goal.
Brandon, sometimes it just comes down to the power of suggestion, because I know exactly what they said all week long. We're coming off the open week. We'll have the fresher legs in the 4th quarter, and they will wilt when we get to that point. And right now, it appears that they're thinking that exact thing.
Yeah, offensively, they had the bye last week. Defensively, did not. Is that really a big factor? Is that more talk during the week?
I think the more that you talk about it, the more that you emphasize it, the more sometimes it comes true for your team.
And what can they do here on 2nd and goal? 3 red zone trips so far have yielded 2 touchdowns and a field goal. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. He's having a big game running the football, but that one will hurt the yards per carry a little bit.
Yeah, but the average he's got so far, that's the type of average he wants to take with him to contract negotiations, doesn't he?
Nothing on first down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line. 2nd and goal. Here's 2nd and 8. Looking for Boyd, and he's got him. Touchdown, Bengals. Tyler Boyd with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game, as his guys continue to pour it on.
There's no doubt in my mind.
And do you hear that? Do you hear the...
It's not scales, right? I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out right now.
Going. She's full bore.
Yeah, this thing is flat out finished.
Let's go, fellas.
And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave them great field position, turned into 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
Back to the air on 2nd down. White. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 19 yards the pick up there. Move the chains.
Almost not fair. The big guy running the corner route, being able to lean and push and get to where he wants.
So how do you stop it?
A lot of times you want to have a linebacker on him, a bigger body guy who can handle him physically. But a lot of times that doesn't work as well because his quickness often wins the route.
Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. White. And a quick throw here. That's complete. And they're going to have this way down in Cincinnati territory. A big change in field position there. That's 40 yards on the catch and run. A defense... big plays like
finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. White now. Throwing again. And that going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
And now offensively it's 3rd and 10, and I'm just thinking to myself, actors always say, what's my motivation before a big scene? Right now the play caller's thinking, what have I done before that's worked well that I can go to right now?
Yeah, because they were pretty successful in the first half scoring points. Haven't done anything so far here in the second half. Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
And his kick is indeed good, and that will knock this down to still a very large 29-point deficit. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
Let's go.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. He's already hit pay dirt twice. He's up over 100 yards. He is feeling good.
He's just zipping along today. Everything coming together for him. It's that type of a day that you see a back just got to have a grin on his face every time his number is called. Because he doesn't feel like there are going to be any lost yardage plays. Nothing but big-time positive runs.
Making the sideline grin as well. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12.
Let's go, D. Let's go.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here, stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do, late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it, they've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work the clock.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 31 yards there and a first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. They'll try the left side. Stevenson. It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have a first down. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
Ready? 10 Lobo.
In your face.
Shift. Pilot, 64, weak.
Throwing on first down. Holloway nowhere to escape, and he goes down. T.J. Watt able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. Well executed there on 2nd down, so do you go back to the air on 3rd?
Well, that's a possibility, but now you've opened up things to where you showed that you would run the ball in long-distance situation. You might come back again because I doubt they believe you'll do it a 2nd time.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And he'll be stopped here well short of the first down at the 24-yard line. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down.
But this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stuffed them for almost no gain.
No move to get the offense off the field. They're going on 4th and 5. They'll try and run for it. He'll have a first down inside the 10. And finally wrestled down at the 8-yard line. It's 1st and goal after they rip off a solid chunk of yardage in the ground game on a risky 4th down call.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. They'll try the left side. It's Stevenson, and he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Is it okay if I break one of our rules, partner, which is to never call a game over until it's over? because this certainly feels like it's over after that drive.
Yeah, that was spirit-crushing, wasn't it? And now you just kind of felt the air go out of the balloon.
Yeah, they were fighting so hard to stay in there, and they knew they had to stop them on that drive. But when they were unable to, I think you're exactly right. You could see them sag on their sideline, and I think this one might just be over.
That time, a 9-play drive. And the capper that put it in the end zone, a run of 8 yards. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be fielded at the 8. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And the Steelers set to take the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest,
don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
On first down, it's White. Quick hitter here. It's complete. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory, and the defensive guys are just saying, hey, put those points up every week, we'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points, allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for Cincinnati, their strong start to the year continues as they're up to 5-1. And now they'll get the weekend off as they get a little extra time to prepare to face the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, for the Steelers, they dipped to 2-5 now with the loss. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.